You see it before you know you see it. A shadow, a curve, a slight shape in the grass at the edge of your vision. Before your conscious mind has formed a single thought, your heart rate has already spiked, your muscles have already tensed, and your body has already begun to pull away. You did not decide to be afraid. Something older than your decision making brain made the call first. Now picture this instead. You are handed a loaded pistol. The safety is off. The barrel is pointed at you. Your heart rate will rise, your hands will sweat, you will feel genuine fear. But the speed at which your body reacts, the raw, automatic, below conscious alarm, will not match what happened with the snake. Why? The gun is objectively more dangerous. It can kill you from 100 meters away. A snake you can see and step back from. By any rational measure, you should be more afraid of the gun. Your brain knows this. And yet the snake wins every single time. This is not a quirk. This is not an irrational glitch. This is the architecture of a brain built for a world that no longer exists. Your brain is approximately 300,000 years old in its current form. But the structures responsible for fear are far older than that. The amygdala, the small almond-shaped cluster of neurons buried deep in your temporal lobe, has been performing threat detection since long before your ancestors looked anything like you. It does not process meaning. It processes pattern. And the patterns it was trained on were not shaped by the last 500 years of human invention. They were shaped by millions of years of a single repeated evolutionary problem. Do not get killed by the things that have always killed us. Snakes were one of those things. Researchers Lynne Isbell and Joseph LeDoux have each contributed from different directions to understanding exactly how deep this goes. Isbell, a primatologist at the University of California, Davis, proposed the snake detection theory in 2006. Her argument was radical at the time and is now widely accepted. She suggested that the visual system of primates, the part of your brain that processes what you see, was partially shaped by snakes, not by predators in general, specifically by snakes. Snakes are ancient. They have been hunting and killing small mammals for over 100 million years. For most of primate evolutionary history, they were one of the primary causes of death. And they are visually specific threats. They don't roar. They don't charge from a distance. They hide. They blend. They look like nothing until they strike. The only defense against them was a visual system fast enough to detect their shape before conscious awareness could slow things down. So that is what evolved. Your visual cortex has dedicated neural pathways that activate faster for snake-shaped stimuli than for any other threatening object that human engineering has ever produced. Isbell found evidence for this across multiple primate species. When researchers showed primates images of snakes versus images of other threatening stimuli, the reaction times were measurably faster for the snakes, even in species that had never encountered one. This is not learned. It is inherited. Arne Ohman at the Karolinska Institute in Stockholm ran a different set of studies on human subjects. He showed people streams of images in rapid succession and measured how quickly they could pick out a specific target embedded in a group of distractors. When the target was a snake embedded in flowers, people found it faster than when a flower was embedded among snakes. The detection was automatic. It happened even when images were shown too briefly for conscious recognition. The brain was performing threat detection before the visual system had finished doing its job. Ohman called this preparedness. The idea is that certain fears are biologically prepared, meaning evolution has pre-wired the nervous system to acquire them faster, express them more intensely, and extinguish them more slowly than fears for things that are genuinely modern dangers. You can condition a fear of snakes in a human subject in 1 or 2 exposures. Conditioning a fear of guns or electrical outlets, things that kill far more people in contemporary life, takes far more repetitions and does not produce the same visceral, below-conscious response. This is the gap your brain lives in. The gun is dangerous right now, in your current environment. The snake is dangerous in an environment your ancestors lived in. But your nervous system cannot perceive the difference between those two timelines. It has no mechanism for updating threat priorities based on what decade you happen to be living in. It runs the same threat detection software it has always run, filtered through the same hierarchies it built over millions of years. Snakes are near the top of that hierarchy. Guns are invisible to it. Joseph LeDoux, a neuroscientist at New York University and one of the world's leading researchers on the fear response, spent decades mapping the neural circuitry that makes this possible. What he found was a two-track system. One track is fast. It runs from your sensory organs to your amygdala, directly bypassing the cortex, bypassing the part of your brain that reasons and contextualizes. This track is sometimes called the low road. It responds in milliseconds. It generates the startle, the freeze, the muscle contraction. It does not wait for you to understand what you're looking at. It acts first and explains later. The second track is slower. It runs through the cortex. It processes meaning, context, nuance. This is the track that eventually tells you that the shape in the grass was a garden hose. But by the time that message arrives, your body has already been flooded with adrenaline. Your heart is already pounding. Your pupils are already wide. The fast track made a decision, and the slow track is catching up. The gun problem exists because the gun is a cortex level threat. Understanding why a gun is dangerous requires language, abstraction, cultural knowledge. You have to know what a gun is. You have to know what bullets do. You have to understand distance, velocity, probability. None of that is available to the low road. The low road does not speak the language of modern engineering. It speaks the language of shape, movement, and pattern, and guns have no evolutionary legacy in that language. A snake does. Here is where it gets specific. Studies using magnetoencephalography, a brain imaging technique that measures neural activity in milliseconds, have shown that the human brain begins differentially processing snake images within 100 milliseconds exposure. That is faster than the time it takes to consciously perceive an image at all. Your brain is reacting to something before you know you are looking at it. This has real consequences that move far beyond phobias. It explains why so many people feel visceral disgust or alarm at snake imagery in media, dreams, and symbols, even in cultures that have almost no snake-related danger. It explains why ophidiophobia, the fear of snakes, is among the most common phobias on Earth, found in virtually every human population studied. It explains why that fear is disproportionately resistant to extinction even after repeated safe exposures. Your amygdala is not confused. It is doing exactly what it was built to do. The confusion belongs to the mismatch between the world your brain was optimized for and the world you actually live in. Your threat detection system is running ancestral software in a contemporary environment. Most of the things it flags as dangerous are not going to kill you. Most of the things that actually might kill you today, poor diet, chronic stress, sedentary behavior, social isolation, produce no amygdala alarm at all. They do not move like predators. They do not have the shape of ancient threats. Your nervous system was not designed for the problems of the present moment. It was designed to survive the problems of the deep past. And it is very, very good at that job. The next time you flinch at something harmless, some shape in the corner of your eye, some rustle you couldn't quite identify, consider what just happened. An ancient detection system fired, precisely as designed, based on pattern libraries assembled over millions of years of primate survival. You did not overreact. You reacted exactly the way something had to react, in a world where the wrong shape in the grass was the last thing you ever saw. Your brain still lives there. It just also happens to be reading this